Have you ever heard the saying, the way to a man's heart is through his stomach? Well, there may be some truth to that phrase because your diet plays a major role in heart health. Different types of foods really influence your blood pressure, your cholesterol, all of which affect your heart health. So what is a heart-healthy diet and why is it important? Let's find out today on Around Phelps Health. Hey everybody, I'm your host Paul Hackbarth, and with me today is Phelps Health Interventional Cardiologist Stilianos Efstratiadis, or Dr. E. Did I get that right?
Absolutely.
All right, so I've been practicing. Dr. E, as patients commonly call him. So welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Paul. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so we really appreciate you coming on and talking about this important topic. It's near and dear to my heart. Actually, pun intended on that one. But I suffer from high blood pressure. I have high cholesterol. So I work with my primary care provider to manage those conditions. But heart disease, as you probably know, it's one of the most common diseases in the U.S., correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's the most common cause of death, in the United States. Many people die from it, and many people are not aware that they have it.
Okay, yeah. So, well, let's dive right into my first question. So today we're talking about heart-healthy diets. So what is a heart-healthy diet? What does that consist of?
So, the heart-healthy diet is a diet that, people try to have, I would say, a lot of fruit, a lot of vegetable. We avoid processed foods. And I would say we avoid, eating out because they use a lot of salt. We avoid salt. We avoid all the things that they can raise your blood pressure and raise your cholesterol.
Okay, so the American Heart Association, I was reading that they actually recommend two diets. So there's the DASH diet and the Mediterranean diet. Can you kind of talk about what those are?
Absolutely, and this is pretty much what it is. Vegetables, avoiding salt, a lot of vegetables, a lot of fruits. Again, anything that goes against, getting the cholesterol high and getting your blood pressure high.
I gotcha. Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So I feel this is a good time. So we talked about the Mediterranean diet. You actually grew up around that area.
Absolutely.
Too. So is that true that they eat a lot of those things?
Yes. So, in Greece, I come from Greece and I'm Greek and pretty much that's the diet there.
Okay.
We eat, a lot of vegetables, tomatoes. Then also we use a lot of olive oil.
Oh, okay.
And the olive oil actually raises your good cholesterol. So, indirectly lowers your bad cholesterol.
Okay, alrighty. So maybe cooking with that stuff would be kind of good.
Absolutely. Versus butter, it's better to cook, with vegetable oil.
Okay, so I also like what you said about maybe trying to cook at home instead of eating out. I didn't realize just how much salt, restaurants put in their foods. Whereas you cook, you can really control how much salt, how much other things you put in your food. So.
Absolutely, and that's what's our recommendation. In a restaurant, they use a lot of sugars and a lot of salt to make the food tastier. Mm-hmm. And we can control completely that, actually get them out of our diet completely at home.
Yeah.
So whenever somebody has heart disease, we always recommend them to cook at home because this way they can control the intake of the salt and the intake of sugars.
All right. I love that. So, okay. Can we talk about how people can start to eat healthier for their hearts? So what are some recommendations? How can they change their diets?
So I would say, as we said before, use, the olive oil or vegetable oils versus butter.
Okay.
Don't use any salt. Don't use canned food because the canned food contains a lot of salt itself.
Okay.
Drink water instead of drinking sugar drinks, sugar-containing drinks. And of course, as we said, a lot of vegetables, a lot of chicken, a lot of fish versus red meat that contains a lot of cholesterol and fat.
Okay, I'm glad you mentioned that. Yeah, I was interested about, I've always heard that maybe the lean meats like chicken and fish are a lot healthier than the red meats like steak. So even though they're both pretty good though. Yeah. So and one great thing about heart healthy diet, there's just so many good recipes out there. So I definitely recommend you guys check those out. So alrighty. So I love those tips, and I think you showed that changing your diet, it doesn't have to be drastic. You can make small little habits, and they can really turn into big changes.
Absolutely. So people drink sugar drinks all the time and they get addicted to it.
Yes.
If you replace it with water, right there you can make a big change on your diet. If you don't use salt and you use lemon instead of, you use pepper instead, you still have a flavor to your food without adding something that's going to increase your blood pressure.
Yeah, I love that.
And again, fish, chicken, white meats, turkey versus, red meat. Avoid fried things that here in Midwest, everybody's very fond of.
Yes.
And a lot of vegetables and fruit.
Okay, alrighty, I love that. So, okay. Well, if you're looking for more tips on heart-healthy diets, make sure to visit our website, phelpshealth.org. We have a lot of great resources there for you guys to check out. So, well, that wraps up our show for today. Thank you so much, Dr. E, for sharing your knowledge with us.
Paul, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, so... And to our viewers, if you liked our show, remember, if you want to learn more about the topics that we cover on this series, make sure to visit phelpshealth.org. We'll see you next time on Around Phelps Health.